So the biggest challenge facing the industry in the run-up to PR19 is the one of its entire legitimacy. As you know, the Labour manifesto called for renationalisation of the sector, and that's raised all sorts of questions about the private provision of essential public services. But I do think the industry is stepping up to this, and we're seeing companies taking that challenge really seriously. And at the heart of that is the need to reconnect with customers, which I do think the companies are doing. First and foremost, the industry needs to get to know its customers. Customers are not homogeneous. Customers have different needs at different points in time. Customers in different parts of the country have different priorities. So there's no substitute for companies really getting under the skin of what their customers need and want. The water market of 2020 probably won't be that different from the water market of 2017, but I do think that by the end of the next control period, so by 2024, the market's going to look very different indeed. So as we know, we've got the business customer retail market now open to competition. That's driving more innovation, it's driving greater choice of different services for customers. And yes, it's a slowish start, but that's what we expected, and I think it's really going to take off over the next few years. And then if you couple that with some of the changes that we're bringing to wholesale markets, I think by 2024 the sector could look very different indeed. The non-household market opened to competition in April 2017. We've seen a slow start. We've had, I think, about 70,000 switches now in the market. A lot of those have been with the bigger customers, which is of course exactly what we would expect. And we know that some customers have been advised, for example, by brokers to wait for 12 months before they engage in the market. So I think we'll really start to see things picking up. One thing we have seen is a large number of applications for self-supply licenses. And I think that's really interesting because that shows you that some of the bigger water consumers are looking to cut out the middleman and get a better deal for themselves. Good customer service in the water industry pretty much looks like good customer service in any other industry. It's really about getting to know customers and really getting under the skin of their priorities and what they want. Ideally, what companies ought to be doing is thinking about their customers as human beings with busy lives and competing demands on their cash and on their time. And in that world, a company that can really offer peace of mind and convenience, as well as basic reliable services, will do really well. There are lots of changes in technology at the moment, and a lot of them have scope to disrupt, not only in the water sector, but in utilities more broadly. I'd single out probably two. One is in relation to the customer interface and the technologies that exist to use different channels and allow customers to interact with our services in different ways. And the other is really around smart networks. I think the water sector is still using largely 19th century technology when it comes to providing its services. But if you can really introduce new sensing equipment, remote data loggers and things like that, you can really start to manage networks remotely. And with artificial intelligence, those networks can learn how to optimize themselves over time. And that's going to be a real revolution when it comes.